right. So I'm back for another night. Uh, so a little update here. I'm actually I actually have a different monitor set up. So we'll see how that goes with the stream chat. So I can probably see it a lot better tonight. So we'll see how that works. The microphone might be a little bit more muted. I'm sitting a little further away, so that's where that's coming from. So. Okay, so with that said, tonight I'm going to continue on with what I have been planning to do, and that is not do any more parsing, at least for the time being, not to bore you guys. So I'm actually going to move along with hooking up Elasticsearch into this application. So I'm going to try to find a library that's going to do that. But real quick, before I do that, I'm going to actually change my some function names here real quickly, just because after doing some reading online, I think what I actually implemented here with my basic message handler was actually some sort of a message bus. So at least I think that's what it's called. In its most basic form. So I'm just going to go ahead and rename some things. So bear with me. I'm using a different keyboard now too. So tonight, so we're going to call this message bus. We'll change that struct. And we're going to call this message bus as well. Okay. Whoops, I forgot to add that -T there, so I'm going to change that to, or not -T, but the T piece to that. And then we're going to go ahead and rename this to message bus. And rename this one. Message bus. Alright, and on down the chain here. I'm going to rename this to maybe not message bus handler, but bind subscriber, no, listener. There we go. Listener, and then we're going to go ahead and name this to message bus send. I'll shorthand that. Okay, oops. Control Z. Oh boy. Hold on, I'm not used to this keyboard. I'm using a Windows keyboard on my Mac right now, so I'm trying to get used to using the Windows hotkey to represent the command key, which normally that's in the Alt position. So my thumb is kind of pushing the wrong button there. So where was I? Message bus send message. Sweet. And then I have the type here, message type T. I'm going to change that to message bus listener T. All right, and then go ahead and rename some of my variables here to max listeners. Call that bus. And we're going to call this one bus as well. Listener. Bus. I'm just going to leave the data as is. Save it. I'm going to check my message bus C here. Oh, it actually renamed it. Nice. All of these things are now broken. changed the name of things I probably shouldn't have. I've actually been talking to people on Slack earlier today, and well, yesterday as well. Somebody was asking in one of the Slack groups I belong to about the they're asking about what static analysis tools are available for C. I listed out one called PVS Studio, and someone else mentioned Clang. Like the Clang compiler has some static analysis tool, and I am very not much of a fan of it because if that's the one that's being used for CLion, I'm not a fan of how it's not catching things a little bit better as I type things out. So, but maybe I don't have it running strict enough. I don't know. I just wish it would work better. So I can do my renames and all that stuff a little bit nicer. IRC Bot message bus. Yep, replace. And save that. Okay, so with my renaming of these functions, they all renamed over here just fine, but I need to fix them. For instance, I'm not creating a handler of message bus listener of T. I'm actually going to change that to just message bus. And that should fix a lot of the problems. At least I thought it would. Just going to go ahead and rename this. Max listeners. Okay. Shouldn't be getting this error here. Message bus listener T. Yeah, I wonder what that error is all about. Complete definition. I wonder if this compiles fine. I bet it does not. Oh. Incompatible pointer types. Oh boy. Why is that all screwy now? Yeah, I have the struct here. I'm redefining it here. Oh, this is not supposed to return that. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, wow. Are my prototypes all screwed up? Yes, they are. Like I said, I wish the inspector would actually, or the inspector that this IDE uses would actually behave a little bit better. It's unfortunate that it doesn't in cases like this, and I don't know why. It shouldn't be that way. Okay, so that fixes that function. This now needs to be message bus. Sweet. And then this needs to be the same. And then instead of calling these handlers, I'm going to go ahead and try to rename them all to listeners. Okay, and then func listeners. Oh wait, no, I shouldn't have done that. Not all handlers are treated equally here. This one, and this function, 1, 2, 3. No, okay. Hopefully the inspector will fix this properly. So just gonna call this bus. Bus handlers, max handlers. Okay, I'm gonna rename this to.
Welcome to VoiceOver.
Oh gosh.
VoiceOver speaks descriptions of.
That was that was the wrong button. This is going to be an interesting night, folks. Max listeners. I'm so sorry about that. Listener count. Okay. Okay, so far so good. Need to rename this one now to Mus. Keep it all consistent. I like my consistency there. Not what I want to do. I keep wanting to push like window button F6 when I really mean to push Shift F6. Definitely not used to this keyboard for Mac stuff. Ironically, at work, I actually have a Windows computer and I'm using a Mac keyboard, so if that's any indication of, of how much more attuned I am to Mac keyboards, then that's it. Listener count. Listener count. Okay, bus handlers, and then I'm going to change this from handlers to listeners. Okay, wow, that took a lot longer than I was expecting to do that refactor. So, and we have some compile errors. So let's go ahead and check those out. Oh my. All right, we'll fix that, and I'm going to go ahead and rename that to message bus. And it should take care of that. Let's do the compile, and sweet, okay. All right, that's it for that refactor. Now I need to go ahead and figure out how to get Elasticsearch in here. So the first thing I need to do is probably get Elasticsearch installed on my Mac computer. So hopefully there is a very easy way to do that. Through Homebrew. So I like to use Homebrew as like a package manager, and it might try to want to do some sort of an update when I run these commands. But we can do other things while that's doing it. So I'm just going to see if it exists first. Okay, so there's a few of them. So the reason why I'm doing a search for this is because I think hopefully these are servers that I can run. And if they are servers, hopefully they come with some sort of application or some sort of API I can link into my application with. So I need to do some digging. So I need to look at these commands every once in a while. Brew info Elasticsearch. So let's see what that comes up with. Java 1.8, ouch. As a C developer, I take offense to that. Let's see here, Elasticsearch stable 624. So that's a greater version than Elasticsearch at 5.6. So this is probably what I want. Let me do a brew update, or yeah, real quick, and then I'll go ahead and install it. In the meantime, I want to look at this link, so hopefully I can click on that. And that should open up the formula, but I don't know if that's the site I want. We'll go ahead and click on that too, to see if we get some results from here. Let's see here. I can't tell in the comments. Is my fan running a little too hot? I'm going to refresh the chat here, see if it actually opens up the chat to make sure people are chatting in here. People were chatting yesterday, and apparently I couldn't see them, so there's some issues with that. You guys can hear the fan from my laptop. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's see here. All right, so the thing I do know about Elasticsearch is that it is very JSON heavy. I think what's going to end up happening is that when I install this through Brew, that it's going to actually Elasticsearch, I think it was. When I install this through Brew, what's going to end up happening is I think it's going to. You got to be kidding me. Oh gosh. brew install Elasticsearch. Oh wait, no, that's not what I want. Sorry. Brew cask install. Oh boy. Install homebrew cask versions Java 8. This might take a while. Hopefully not. So if you guys couldn't tell already, Elasticsearch is a Java application, but if I'm correct from the homebrew, what's going to end up happening is that the package that I'm going to be installing is going to install and set up an Elasticsearch Java server on my local host that I'm going to actually send JSON to actually work with it. But what I'm interested in is whether or not it has some sort of an API for me to hook into. Because I would hate, not necessarily hate, but I could take, so like in my program, I'm actually like, you know, setting up sockets to connect to IRC. I could do something similar with Elasticsearch, but if I recall, it looks like it's just doing, I don't know if that will work, as a matter of fact, but so I have to do some digging. Let's do some Googling. I might have to install another library. That would actually hook into Elasticsearch for me. Oh boy. Wow. Yep. Okay. So we're not using Ruby. I don't know why that link took me to a Ruby gem. This might be a good thing to look at. At least Google. Okay, but I'm doing C, so I can't use anything C++. See where we're at on Java, 84%. Well, Elasticsearch is going to make it hard on us. I would expect a JavaScript. I would expect Java. Perl, that's interesting. Python, Ruby, I would all expect. Definitely PHP, definitely .NET, definitely more Java stuff and JavaScript. So this is going to be rough for us C developers, unless I can find one. Elasticsearch C maybe. C++. It's .NET. That's not going to work. PHP, definitely not. Though it'd be funny if this actually contained like some sort of C library that I could just use. I try doing that Google search, Elasticsearch C API. Let's see what this guy has to say. Well, I don't have to use sockets, especially if they don't work. I could just install curl. My computer does have curl installed on it. So I could use that to send JSON API requests directly to Elasticsearch. It would be nice if I could just use the socket. I'm pretty sure I could. You know what? I think I might. Let's look for Stack Overflow. Elasticsearch sockets. Oh, I typed site Stack Overflow. I did not mean to do that. All right. That's not what I want. Is it possible to string documents? Oh. Oh, WebSocket. I don't know if that's. Okay, so I don't know if WebSocket and the CSocket stuff use different protocols, or if they are different protocols. That is just not something I would know. Man, I would hate to use curl. It's all JavaScript here. So that's not helpful, but it could have provided some insight. You know, maybe I could use sockets. I would just have to create the payload myself, the HTTP header myself. But that's not good enough. What we need is to do sockets. What we need is we need something a little bit more beefy. Well, not necessarily beefy, but we need something that would create that header for me, so I don't have to do it every single time. But I might as well. But sending it is one thing. Receiving the data is another thing. The question is will the data come back over that socket, over TCP/IP? That I'm unsure of. No one's typing in the comments, so I guess my viewers don't have any ideas on that just yet either. I should be able to do it through a socket, but I don't want to build the URL. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick with using curl. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and do the necessary things in my application to put curl into the project. So usually what I like to do is this find library piece here. I use CMake with this IDE. So that allows me to find packages and do, or it makes it a lot easier than making, it makes it a lot easier to find and link things into my project than to use a make file, which those can be complicated to make. And I'm not familiar with it, so I think all I need is just curl, and then what CMake will do is it will create, whoops, I did not mean to click save. What it will do is it create these little variable, I want to call them constants or defines or whatever. Variable defines that allow me to go ahead and link them in if it's found. So I'm going to make this required. So unable to locate curl, and then I should be able to just down here link another library. And this time it's going to be curl, and see if that works. CMake hasn't reported any issues, so if I build it, it built just fine, so I'm guessing it got found. Let's see if it actually did get found. Include curl. Is that it? Nothing else? Oh, curl H. Okay, we can do that. Let me look at this API real quick. This is exactly how I thought it would be. All over the place. Man, it's been a while since I last used curl. But if I remember correctly, this library should be no different than how I would do it in PHP. Pretty much all the same functions, all the same setup, so I could almost use the PHP documentation, kind of give me a clue. The big difference is I would have to pass in some sort of a function pointer that would actually read the data. So let's build it. All right, yeah, so perfect. My application's actually including it in. So let's go ahead and see if Elasticsearch is done. Then maybe I can create that server. Okay. I don't necessarily want Elasticsearch to start up immediately, but that could be helpful for future videos. So, well, no. Yeah, I think I'll just start it up. Why not? Okay. Sweet. Now I don't know how to get to it. I don't know what port it's on. I can find out. Nope, that's not the right IP. Let's see if it's listening on a reasonable port. Probably not. I don't know what WAP WSP is, but I doubt that's it. What port is Elasticsearch on? The Elasticsearch default port is 93,000. Not to be confused with the HTTP interface running our port 92,000. Or not 92,000, 9200. Excuse me. Okay, it looks like I can configure it myself, but let's go ahead and try to hit it. And there it is. Cool. Now I need to build some sort of an index database, I think. I've never used, I've only used Elasticsearch maybe once. And it was to test something. So I need to figure out how to use it. Look at the API and maybe get some idea for it. Yeah. Well, that could be cool to use Kibana with this. Is there like a getting started? Ah. Alright. My mouse is a little finicky. I have fast scrolling turned on. Set up Elasticsearch. Okay. We went through all that. Installing it. Oh boy. Configuring. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I have no idea what any of this stuff is for, but I'm sure some server administrator out there would love that. Let's see, configure, monitor, upgrading, breaking changes, API, document API, search APIs, aggregations. Wow, this is full of stuff. So the cool thing about Elasticsearch, for anyone who doesn't know, is this search engine built in Java, and I think it's built on top of Lucene, if I recall correctly. Don't quote me on it. Do your own research, but I think that's how this is. But it's a very powerful and mainstream search engine, so I need to figure out how to use it. API conventions, I don't know what. Common options, no. Search cluster, I think what I want is the search APIs. No, wait, I guess these are not searching document APIs, maybe. Index. Okay, here we go. So I want to create an index API, or not create an index API, but actually use one. So I like to use, nope, not my email client. That's not what I wanted to open. Paw. I use this Mac application called Paw. It's paid, but this is my favorite tool to use for doing API requests. Sorry, right now what I have open is a previous application I'm working on for my volunteering that I do every Monday. So that's what that is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this as a new something on my desktop, maybe. I'll just call this Elastic IRC Bot. And then I'm going to configure my environments here to manage. Set the default group to, well, the default group will be localhost. Okay, my variable is going to be named base URL, and then this is going to be, I think it's HTTP that I access it on, localhost with the 9200, and then that's going to be my base URL. Why does it say production? Oh, these are just groups. Okay. BNB. Rename this from production to local. Sweet. Cool. Okay, so I need to build and create an index. I'm going to save this real quick and close out of it. Here, it looks like someone has already been, or at least in the documentation, it looks like people have already tried to create some basic Twitter setup that we can kind of follow, but I'm going to use this for my own purposes. So instead of put Twitter doc, I'm actually going to use an IRC command with parameters. Okay, index API. There's just no end to this documentation. Okay, Google time. Okay, so I think I'm going to create, oh no, wait, hold on. Let me go back real quick here. Let me go ahead and remove my message handler or message bus stuff from this list here. So we're no longer using it. But what I want to see is I want to look at some commands. So where's the parser at? Okay, it should print everything out just fine now. So okay. So some of the commands I might want to be looking for. Since I'm looking specifically for messages, I want to create an index for a message command coming from IRC. So let's see. Hopefully something will pop up if I log into IRC myself. Open up my IRC chat here. I don't know where my window is for the view window. Oh, there it is. All right, so here I am. Create a message. All right, so that just popped up here with priv message. Okay, so I want to look for priv messages command. So I'm going to call this the priv message index for my bot, or for my index here. And then I think the endpoint for that looked like it was, well, dang it, it says just put Twitter. I mean, I guess if it doesn't exist, maybe, I don't know. It doesn't like really tell you how to create. I guess the put is what the, whatever after that, whatever's that next thing in the URL is probably what the document is. So I'm going to call this priv message. So it's priv message, I think. Yeah, priv message. And we're gonna headers should be I don't know, we don't need to send a request header of JSON. We might need to send a request header of JSON. What's it? Control, no, content type, application, or is it text? JSON, no, not JavaScript. Application JSON, and then the body, we're going to send over JSON, and let's see here, I'm going to add a settings property, and this one is going to be an object. How do I add an object? To that. That's how that's done. And then I'm going to add an object to it. This one's going to be called index, and then that's an object. Holy cow. So far, no arrays. Number of shards. I have no idea what shards means in Elasticsearch, but I wonder if it has something to do with the alright, well, I'll just keep it 5 since that's the default. And then replicas, I think I only need 1. I think this has to do with if your server's on load, or has a load, you can spin up multiple instances or something like that. So let's go ahead and see what happens. The above second curl example shows how an index called Twitter can be created with specific settings. For it using Well, I think the English needs a little updating here on the documentation. In this case, creating an index with 3 shards, each with 2 replicas. Can also be defined with JSON, which I just did. I don't know what the difference between that and this is. My bot just got a ping timeout. I forgot. I need to implement that to Pong it to keep me logged in. I'll have to remember to do that. But I think that's all I need. I know what mappings are. A type mapping. I wonder if type mappings are what's needed for actually creating what our documents actually look like. If that's the case, then ideally I'd like it to match my my struct, where it would have the command name with the list of parameters that go along with it. But this one's specifically a priv message index, so I'm only going to log those. So maybe I just include just the text of whatever's coming in from this priv message. So it would be the username with the actual message. There's no spaces here, but because I have those trimmed out, but create a message is all I typed there. So that's probably what I would do. I'd probably have the mapping would probably be just some sort of a command with its username, and for this one specifically be username and then the message, so just be name and message. Maybe time. I don't know if time, well, clearly time doesn't happen here, but I could log it from whatever my application is, whatever its local time is set to. I could do that. Actually, that might be a good thing to add in my struct here. That is a good idea. I don't have any idea of what the actual. I think it would be like time t would be the actual variable for this. Date, time. Created, I guess, and I'll just add that in there for safekeeping. That's a good reminder to add that in there. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's all I need, so I'm going to go ahead and run that, and 405, wow, okay, incorrect method for, I'm using get, a get header. I need to change this to a put. How do I do that? I thought there was an easy, right there. Okay, so that ought to do that. Go ahead and run it. 200, okay, so now I should be able to query that. I don't know what to query. I don't have it populated, so it's not like I can do anything with it. So I'll just create a little placeholder holder for that. So now I need to actually like put data into it so I can test this thing out to kind of play with the API a little bit before I start implementing it in C with curl here. So we're just going to do insert record, and then create type. Oh man, let's rename that. Okay, so the path I want to follow is create the index, which I already did, create a message type, which I'm about to do, insert records into it, and then I can query it later. So that's how I'm going to test this. Where's that at? I think I'm running low on time now. Okay, I got about 15 minutes to fuck with this a little bit more. Okay, let's go back to Google since that's actually easier than looking at the docs. Elasticsearch, create document. I'm gonna go refresh my Twitch page again. I'm not seeing any much chats going on at night. If there are, then I'm sorry, I'm not seeing them again. Let me refresh them real quick. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry if I'm not getting them. I just don't see them. All right. Let's see. Index API, no. Documents, delete, get, update, bulk apply, or bulk, no. I want to do a re-index either. Maybe it's not document. Yeah, it was just in the index one, but oh. Huh. Well, okay. All right. I like that. Okay. Oh, okay. So I need to create. Okay. So I think I still need to create a type doc. I think. I don't know. It might complain at me, but it's worth a shot. So we're going to do base URL, and we're going to pass in this underscore doc, which it says I need to type for my index, but I don't know if this will work. We'll just call it 1, because why not? I need to change the content type once again to JSON. Change this to a put. I'm going to save that. Then body, JSON. I'm going to add username. And then in this case, my username would be who sent the message would be this person. So I'm going to copy it from there just to keep some authenticity going. Come on, Mac. Give me that doc. It does not want to. And so I'm going to use that. And then the next one I'm going to use, or here is I'm going to have the message. And then this is going to be create message. And then this should work. Oh, well, and okay, I also want to do a datetime. So datetime created. And then I'm just going to stick to what I know. And this is going to be 2018. This is the 27th, maybe. Oh, 28th? Oh, 26th. Wow, I'm way off. 26th of July. And then 00, 00, 00. All right. So hopefully this will insert a record. 405, incorrect method put. Incorrect method put. Well, that's not cool. Let's see what it actually says. Incorrect HTTP method for doc1 method put. Allowed post. Why would it not like? Oh, okay, so I could do this. Oh, that's what I really want. Automated. Now I can randomize this. So the cool thing about Paw is I can randomize things. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Transformations, substitutions, no. Extensions. Values, timestamp is, oh wow, interesting. So what I'm going to do is use an actual value here, timestamp. Screw it, we'll do ISO. Cool, this works. And then for the message, I could install some sort of a plugin for it. That'll give me a random set of whatever. In fact, that's actually pretty common. That those are some pretty common plugins that actually are around for this particular tool, but I forget where. I don't want to download anything right now, so I'll just go ahead and just keep it as that, and then run it. Add request. Okay, illegal argument exception. Wow. Unknown setting, datetime created. Please check that any required plugins are installed or check the breaking chain. What? Unknown setting, index.datetime created. Okay, what if I don't have that? Oh, okay, so maybe this is where the type comes into play. Maybe I need to actually create that type. It looks like the error message is just the first one is the last one in the list, and then second looks like username is not a part of it. That's okay. So I will just go ahead and go to the Googles. Create a document mapper maybe, index. Oh, okay. Maybe I just need to fiddle with this a little bit more. So underneath settings for my index, instead what I would create is a mapping. Mappings, which is going to be an object of I guess, my document, which I'm going to call this. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to change this to, we'll just call it IRC, and then I'll have a document called priv message. So that way I can store whatever I want into here. In fact, I'm going to rename this a little bit more in depth, elastic. Because I can have, I guess indexes can have multiple documents, would be my thought because of how the API is constructed right here. So I'll just call it elastic IRC bot index with a priv message document type with it being mapped to properties, and then we're going to have, oh geez, it's JSON. So this one's actually going to be called username. It's going to have another, it's going to be another object. It actually might be faster for me to type this all out, honestly, than to click around. Type text. Let's see, what else do we have here? So it looks like these can be, so I'm going to go ahead and create a couple more of those. Date, time created. And then we're just going to use this as a, I don't know what types it supports, so we'll just do text for now. And then the message, and then we're going to do, oh wait, no, we can't do that, sorry. This needs to be type object, and then this one's going to be type text. Okay, and then this one's going to be a type of text. Okay. Oh, type date. Sorry, I didn't see that. Sweet. Do type date format. You know what? Balls to the wall. On that one, we will do whatever this says. Format. Cool. Will that work? All right. So now my document is now a priv message, so I can probably delete this. I can't use the delete key. So insert record. Okay, so it's going to be priv message, so I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to replace it here. I'm assuming that I need that, and then I can do that. Oh, bad request again. Dang it. Huh. Oh, right. I know what I did wrong here. This is probably, I probably didn't even need to create that type mapping, but I guess it's probably good that I did. So what did I name this index? I named it IRC, oh no, elastic IRC bot. And then the document is priv message. I want to do a create, so I think I should just be able to, not there, it said that I should just be able to do a post for automatic ID generation, which is A-OK in this instance, and I should do that. Oh no, still bad request. Mapping type name can't start with an underscore. What? That don't make sense. Invalid type name. Document mapping type name can't start with, I didn't? Oh, okay. I guess that's all I needed to do is remove the underscore. I wonder why this has an underscore here. That's kind of misleading because up here, up above, in the API, well, at least in other documents, like in this mapping one, that's not prefixed with an underscore, so when you look at that, documentation's missing. In my talk that I went to on Tuesday, Microsoft, or there was a man there presenting on Microsoft Docs because he works on the Microsoft Docs team and he was presenting on the new Microsoft Docs that's supposed to replace MSDN. And Microsoft's doing a really cool thing where everything is open source for the documentation. So I guess they're trying to do that here, but I don't know how to fill this in, so I wonder if it's more complicated. Oh yeah, so it's just like how you would do it with Microsoft through Git, so through GitHub. So that's pretty sweet. Anyway, I just thought I'd point that out there. But the thing that Microsoft does do is that it does list the contributors to the document, so that's nice of them to give credit where credit is due. But anyway, moving on. That's just a little side tangent. So now I should be able to query it, and once I have this, so the reason I'm doing this is I just want to test the API to make sure that I'm doing all the right things, because it's a lot easier to test with PAW than it is to write all the functions out in C. If that wasn't obvious, I'm just going to lay it out there. So next thing I need to do is I need to query it to see if there's anything in it. So I guess the next step is to use the Git API. All right, so it's going to start with the base URL, and then it looks like it's going to be my my index, elastic IRC Bot, and then priv message. As my document, and then I guess I just run it. Method not allowed. Incorrect. Man, this is killing me. Incorrect method for URI. Come on. Do I need to pass an ID? Yeah, I don't know. Watch it complain if I try to put an underscore here, like all its other examples. Method not allowed still. 404 not found. Well, I did insert something in there. 201 is created. Did add this document into it. Doesn't tell me what the ID is. ID 0, yeah. Did I spell it right? Elastic IRC Bot, priv message. Let's make sure I'm doing that right. First step, always check your spelling. No, still no. Huh. Well, that sucks. I guess this is assuming that I put something in there, but I'm pretty sure I did. You know, if I recall, there's probably some sort of a dashboard. I don't know if I need to type that in explicitly, or if I can just go to it. No. What was it? 9300 was this other port that's listening to? Yeah, nothing on it. Man, I know there's a way. Elasticsearch dashboard, maybe? Oh, is that what Kibana is? I thought Kibana was something else. Oh boy. I definitely don't want to install that right now, but that might actually be a little bit more useful to interface with, because You're right. So I mean, I created that mapping with the index. Yeah. So I'm not doing anything special there. Same thing. I don't know why it's saying 404 not found when I created. Let me create another. I'll just create a few. We'll queue them up. So pause really nice, so it kind of prevents you from DDoSing your own self with the enter key. Not found. How about that? You know, it'd be nice if there was a. Maybe I'm doing the search wrong. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe what I need to be doing is looking at the search API instead of the get API. I wonder if that's in this list. Maybe I need to run a reindex on it, maybe? Reading and writing documents. Maybe I should actually like read through all the documentation before I start fucking with this on Twitch. But that's not how I roll. It's kind of just go as I go sort of deal. Alright, well, I'm going to call it. I'm kind of hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and order some food. Anyway, some closing notes. As always, well, not as always, but as of late, if we go to Twitch, as always, but as of, nope, not even repeat that. As always, the About section here has some information about my YouTube and GitHub. This video will show up on YouTube as number 9, probably tonight. GitHub is also noted here. It will have my code here this weekend, I promise. And it will be under the GitHub account / repositories Elastic IRC Bot. So I'll try to get the code in there tomorrow, after tomorrow's video. I'm sorry again if you guys have been writing comments in the stream chat here. I've been refreshing the page periodically throughout this stream, and I've not seen anything come through. So I apologize if people have been typing and I have not been responding. Feel free to direct message me, perhaps with a screenshot if people have been typing. That's an idea. If I can't see it. I don't know what will be blocking it. Maybe there's an error. I didn't try a cache refresh. Hold on, I can do that real quick. Completely reload all the JavaScripts and things like that. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. So, all right. Okay. Well, with that said, thanks for watching. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have Elasticsearch a little bit more ironed out. I'm actually going to do some work tonight to kind of make sure that it does work. So when I start up tomorrow, I can query it, and then I can get straight away on implementing the curl library into the code base. I'm not going to mess with the sockets right off the bat, but that'd be something to do in the future because that would be a much better solution than to use curl. I like curl, but it kind of sucks. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Adios.